this is Luke from Health and High Performance. With the Christmas break approaching, this video is for anyone currently in season, such as athletics, cricket, triathlon and tennis, in pre-season training such as AFL or soccer, or exercising for health and fitness with running, gym or CrossFit. We're going to touch on the importance of workload and give you some practical tips to help you get through the festive season. So what should you be doing over the Christmas break? Well, let's begin by saying that the answer is not to consume endless servings of turkey, Christmas pudding, drink copious amounts of alcohol, put the feet up and do no exercise over the break. Now, it doesn't mean that we're calling off Christmas and telling everyone to forget about it, but it's important to realise the consequences of having too much time off your given sport over the Christmas break. Why are we doing this video? Well, it's not unusual for us to see patients come to see us in January who've done very little over the break and they've resumed playing or pre-season training and then they've suffered an injury. Now, enter sports science to explain something called the acute chronic workload ratio. Workload is how much work you've done to stress your body over a certain period of time. And this can be measured in lots of different ways, such as total time trained, distance ran, swam, cycled, weight lifted, balls bowled. And the acute workload is usually the workload performed in that week. Now, chronic workload is usually the average amount of load performed over a period of 4 weeks, and it is also referred to as the fitness. So in its basic sense, you don't want to be doing something that your body isn't really prepared for. And this is why having a high average chronic workload or fitness will help to protect your body against the stress that weekly training puts on. So what would happen to this acute chronic workload ratio if we decided to do nothing over the 1 to 2 weeks of the festive season? Well, having 1 to 2 weeks of no training lowers your chronic workload and your fitness declines. Then when you resume training, a common area is just to simply start where you left off. But with 2 weeks of no training, this load is now higher than what your body can handle and may result in an injury. A handy table prepared by the Australian Institute of Sport can also help to see how long it takes to safely build up to full training after time off. For example, if you were to take 2 weeks off and do absolutely no training, 0%, it would take you a whopping 4.6 weeks to safely regain your pre-Christmas fitness levels. A much better option would be to do either 40 or 60% of your normal training load for the 2 weeks. Then it would only take you 2.5 or 1.4 weeks respectively to get back to fitness. So now for some practical tips on what to do over the Christmas period. Field-based athletes such as cricket, AFL and soccer, whilst there's generally no organised team training during this time, try and get out at least 2 to 3 times a week for a run. Include some high-speed sprints as part of this, so you might warm up for 2Ks, then do 8x30 sprints of flat out with a jog recovery, and then followed by a 2K cool down. Cricket fast bowlers, now it's ideal to get a couple of sessions in the nets over that time, whether that's 5 or 6 overs, to keep your weekly loads up. But if you're unable to perform this, you don't have access to nets wherever you're going, then simply doing shadow bowling, so without the ball or imitating your run-up. Triathletes, hope your coach has already programmed this, but having an easier recovery week when you might reduce your training by 40%. Runners, again, you can reduce your mileage by 30 to 40%, but make sure you keep that intensity up at the same. To conclude, whilst the festive season is an opportune time to relax, to help maintain your fitness and reduce your risk of sustaining an injury after the break, try and do something over the break to keep your body moving. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.